actually, I think it was 2020. Roland, we had to film something at Crumpy's. And of course, they're only open in the evening. So like we just popped in there and did it. And so he had his wife and his kid with him, who, I don't know. He was probably like 5 then or something. And it was just like that. And he was like just the interest and like this is cute. And I was like, like I can't wait. Not that I need another kid of my own, but I'm like, I'm ready for the, when the time happens, no rush, but when the time happens, it'd be fun to have like grandkids or a niece or a nephew.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I do miss like that age. Like I'm not a big like infant like that. Yeah. But once they get about 1 and they can play and they can get around and play, then I like hanging out with them.
It's fun. Yeah. Well, that's great. So we'll put you down on the babysitting list then when that happens.
Yeah.
We'll put your name down.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be so many on that list, right?
Oh, yeah.
There is, yeah.
But many will want to be on that list, but few will make it on that list. I'm just going to say that now.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh. And I have with me my co-hosts, Claudia.
Hey, guys.
And Jered.
Hello there.
You didn't copy it this time.
Wow.
Well,
that's nice.
Changing it up.
Feels nice. Yeah.
So today we are talking about Monarch, episode 9. But before we get into that, a little bit about what we've been watching. You been watching anything, Jered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I always have to go first?
I don't know. I always just keep the order the same.
It's always the same.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because we have the categories too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Although I will say I have nothing for reality check this week.
Okay.
You have a movie though.
And Lucas hasn't been on here in a while.
Yes, I do.
Lucas hasn't been on here in a while.
We have an anime corner
either.
Yeah.
So
I have a movie to talk about though.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like a reality movie?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a movie.
It's a movie. It's just a movie.
All right.
Yeah, I have 4 things.
Like that's normally
Yeah,
what
it's
you
normally
have.
around
You're
4.
like-
Yeah,
Lately.
you got a pretty thick list typically.
Yeah, it's normally, yeah. There was going to be more, but I didn't want to get too crazy.
Yeah.
First one, so 2 of these I will mention.
Watch out, he's getting crazy.
I know.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Out of hand.
I know.
So we got sorry.
Well, like, I mean, yeah, if I ever, one time I am going to come in and I'm like, yeah, I got 12 things.
He's going to roll out
Buckle up.
the thing and it's going to
Buckle up,
bounce like
everyone.
Strap in.
Yeah. I got 12 things I'm going to talk about them in excruciating detail. So 2 of these just came out this week.
Okay.
And the other 2, it's still pretty recent. But first one that just came out is, this is going to be a downer to start, is Echo.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No good?
I was looking forward to it. So this is the new
I haven't
Marvel show.
I haven't planned on checking it out, but I have not watched any of it.
It's and it's only 5 episodes, which is good. But well, let me start with positive first. I was excited for it because Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is in it, and even Charlie Cox's Daredevil is in it too, which is awesome. 2 of the best people to play that role, I think, ever. But the downside is it's like a lot of the Marvel shows. It's just a mess in general with the story and the editing. I would say those are the 2 big things.
Right.
And I feel like that's a theme with a lot, besides Loki, because we talked about how that's just, I don't know why they do that so well, and then they do all these other ones recently not so well. But the story's just a mess. I watched not too much of it so far, but even the way it started was just so weird. And in the way they do it to where it's like, because this is kind of a continuation of Hawkeye also, right? Because that's what she was in.
Yeah.
But like they do it kind of like halfway where they're like, they kind of do a little bit of a recap. So like people haven't
watched anything else.
but at the same time, they don't explain everything. So if you are going into it and haven't watched Hawkeye, there is still some stuff that you would be like, what? So like they do kind of a good job, but not really. So you still really need to watch Hawkeye for it. But yeah, no, it's just story-wise, it just jumps all over the place in not a good way. But there's still some really, again, like talking about, I mean, and even her that plays Echo, like she's good. But yeah, I would say the story and the editing is, it's just a mess, which sucks because I was looking forward to this one because this one was more mature apparently too, like Daredevil and Netflix and all those and Punisher, which is cool. So there's still good scenes, like I said though, but it's just yeah. And
I'm
then
sure I'll still watch it.
I'm still gonna
just to be the completest of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I probably still will, and I don't even the episodes aren't even that long either. So
It won't take that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I still want to see how much Daredevil actually shows up in it, because he's in it. Not going to spoil when, but like pretty early on, he was already showed up in it, which is really cool.
Well,
all right, and then next one is, so that was on Disney Plus. I always like to say where these things are too.
Yeah.
Sorry, that one, Echo's on Disney Plus. The next one is Reacher on Amazon. Haven't watched it till now. This has been on for a while now, but the second season's going now. I'm still in the first season, but
I've heard some good things about it.
Did you watch any of it?
I have not watched any of it.
Okay.
People told me about it, especially even like some of the lenses and camera work that they do.
Yeah, I'm not too far in it yet. I haven't seen anything like really stand out visually yet, but I'm sure there is, because it is. I would say
one of the people I mentioned is somebody that's like through work, like they were like, you should check it out. There's some cool stuff they do, and I was like, okay.
Well, what I like about it is it's a lot like, I want to compare it to Obliterated, but also I don't, because it's not like a B level, but the way they do it, it's like an old school show like that.
Okay.
Which I think is cool, and it's really fun in that similar way, but it's not like cheesy like that show is.
Gotcha.
It's done really well though, but it just reminds me of like an old school TV show. Just the way they do the story, and the I would say even some of the dialogue too. And yeah, it's just fun. So I wanted to mention that one because I finally did start it, even though the second season is what's going now. Mm-hmm. But I just never started at all. So yeah, that's the one that, was it Tom Cruise that did the movies of those?
Yeah, Jack Reacher. I think so. I think so.
Which is just weird because, like, Jack Reacher is supposed to be this massive, massive dude. And when you think of Tom Cruise, do you think that?
Massive ego, maybe.
Sure. But the guy they have for this, he is absolutely jacked. And, like, he's probably 6'3" also. So, like, they actually got the right person this time. Mm-hmm. And, he's good. All right, one more TV show, and then I have a movie also. So this next one also just came out actually today. So I only watched a tiny bit of it. And this is Ted, the TV show on Peacock.
Yes.
I've been looking forward to this. It's a prequel to the movies.
Love that.
And a little worried though going into it, because I'm like, they have to do the humor just is the same, right? Or it won't be as good. To. And I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, those movies are a little old now. Are they going to do the humor in a now 2024 way?
Sure.
And I was worried about that. But so far, very similar to the originals, which I was very pleased with.
Yeah.
The humor is still good. And it's, obviously it's the same, the same guy doing the voice of Ted, but he's a kid. It's in the 90s. So, but actually who plays, I don't know. What is his name? I don't even think they said his name, at least the little bit I saw of him so far. The actual main character's name. I don't know. But anyway.
It's been so long since I saw that movie.
I know. I wanted to go back and watch the movies again.
They made a second one.
They did, yeah.
I never saw the second one.
Well, yeah, I don't remember. Did you see the second one, Claudia? Is it good? I don't remember that one.
I might have, and I don't remember it probably because it was probably just horrendous compared to the first one. But I honestly can't remember. First one's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But anyway, this is just, it's only 7 episodes. they're not doing like a season 2 or anything. It's just this.
Okay.
So just a prequel to it. But yeah, so great so far, in the spirit of the movie, which is awesome. Last thing is, because it finally came out, I've been waiting for it, is Napoleon. And I did finish it up today. And I was very excited for this movie. And it is awesome.
Nice.
I figured it would be. I think I've mentioned before about Ridley Scott. I mean, he's one of my favorite directors. So I knew it'd be good because he's directing it. So he's still, I think, one of the best. Claudia and I were talking about this. Like, the movie he did before this was The Last Duel, which was really good. And then he did House of Gucci. Very different, but also really cool, too. So even his most recent movies have been really great. And this one, honestly, the main thing is just both, like, visually and audibly, both are just so impressive in this whole movie. There was a lot. It's very, it's very brutal, which is awesome. It's good. They depict everything very well. And also what I like about it, I'm not spoiling it, but it's not like Napoleon's whole life. It's not like you see him as like a little baby and a kid. Because I'm like, we don't need that too. Like, they start at a very good spot and go through a lot of his life. Obviously the main points. So yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, I watched a few things. So I started Slow Horses.
Nice.
Almost finished season 1 and enjoying it. I basically, because season 3, it was made a couple people's top 10 list for last year.
Yeah, I heard that show just keeps getting better.
So
but
evidently each season gets better and better. I mean, because season 1, it's good and it's worth watching, but I would never put it on a top 10.
Right.
But I mean, for season 3 to end up on a top 10, like, they definitely must be getting, amping it up. And I think it got renewed for like through season 6.
I saw
or something
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
I saw.
I mean, I know they're shorter. They're only like 5.
Yeah, it's British. It's like
but,
6 episodes.
But
yeah.
still, it was like, man, okay, there's some. They're have some faith in this thing.
The only thing I saw about this is it was an interview with I think it was the creator of the show, and he said, we're going to do the show as long as Gary Oldman wants to do it.
Oh,
that was his response.
Yeah. And if he's not going to do it, then
right. Which I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But that's cool that he's down for that because, I mean,
yeah,
Gary Oldman, has he done a TV show?
I don't know. I don't look, but like, yeah. But yeah, he's great.
He is great in it. Yeah, I have not seen much. How much did you watch of it? Because I only saw a little bit. Oh, you said you finished the whole season?
No, I think we have one episode left on season 1, but yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I wrapped up Witcher season 3. I know it was kind of, it was good. I feel like they kind of left in a weird spot, which is kind of frustrating because, then it's not going to be Henry Cavill when they come back and do the next season. It's not like they kind of wrapped it up. I feel like this was the most open-ended ending of the 3 seasons. Like season 1 and 2, they kind of wrapped it up a little bit better. Still things like, oh, okay, it could go somewhere, but like kind of this one, I felt like it was just like, oh, we're just going to stop here and then there's going to be more at some point. And then it's not going to be the same person. And so to me, it was a little frustrating.
That is frustrating.
And then,
well, overall though, is it a good season?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it might be the best one and otherwise.
I know you said the fight scenes were the best, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like it's the least confused because I feel like season 1 was a little disjointed, confusing what was going on sometimes.
It was.
And then, but it was still good. And then season 2, I feel like it was less disjointed, and that you lost it. But then it was also felt like it was not as interesting of like what was happening, like the story. So this kind of was way more interesting. Things are going on, and but yeah, it wasn't as like convoluted, confusing like season 1.
I remember in season 1, what made it so confusing was they were like jumping around time period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like so much and never
but, like,
any indication.
Didn't give you like no. Yeah,
it was so weird. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on Henry Cavill, Claudia? We always gotta get your thoughts on your boy.
I had a dream about him the other night.
Of course you did.
Actually. And I don't.
Not the first time you've had a dream about him. Won't be the last.
First time. I won't tell you about the last dream. But this one, it was like I don't know. We were living in a house.
Was it in Witcher times?
No.
So it was a modern house.
He was just a normal
Henry
Cavill, and like there's just like a bunch of us living in this giant place or whatever, and every time I walked by him, I would just like do some stupid pickup line on him, and it would make him laugh, and that's what made me wanted to do it more
Nice.
because he would just laugh at me. And I'd just be like, one of these days, I'm gonna get in there. You know, it's gonna work. But yeah, very good-looking guy. Congratulations to his parents for creating a
Congratulations.
beautiful man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I started watching the Brother's Son on Netflix, which I didn't say. The Witcher is on Netflix, and then Slow Horses is on Apple TV Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Brother's Son on Netflix. So far, it's fun. It's entertaining.
I heard about it, but I didn't really know what it was about. I
mean,
I just know the one lady that's in it.
Yeah.
That was like the thing I recognized about it.
It's hard to know because I don't know enough but it's where were they from? Can't remember now. Somewhere in Japan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is like they're almost like they must be some kind of, you don't really know, but like a mafia, but not, what do they call
So
them?
Yakuza.
Yeah. And but then to like somehow for some reason to protect him, the mom and the younger brother moved to the U.S. when he was like a baby, and they just lived in the U.S. So then you're seeing this. So there's like that contrast of like then basically then this is not spoiling much because it like happens in the first 5-10 minutes. The dad dies, and so then the older brother, who's been trained as like ridiculous fighter, martial arts, whatever, he has to go. His dying breath is like, go take care of your brother and your mother. And so the brother is growing up in the U.S. and does nothing. He does nothing. So he's like, he's like this goofball nerd and whatever. And then the mom has just been working as a nurse, and they just have like a little apartment, and the younger brother has no idea that they're this wealthy family in Japan.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the premise. And then the older brother shows up, and of course the mother knows how to fight, but the younger brother didn't even know any of this. So like that's kind of where they're at with
Gotcha.
where I'm at, because I don't even know if I finished the first episode yet, but it was entertaining.
Okay.
And well, the fight scenes are pretty well choreographed.
They are? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet at all.
So what did you watch? A movie? You said you had a movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about Saltburn really quick.
Oh, did you go see it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I saw it at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because a lot of talk about bathtub scenes and Jacob Elordi and just the overall plot being good. I've heard a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it, and I don't really like to listen to reviews most of the time, just because I like to kind of draw my own conclusions. But
what's the director?
Emerald. Oh my goodness, I forget her last name.
Yeah, this is her second movie, right? I think when I looked it
I
up,
don't know.
I think.
I'm not sure about that. Her first name's Emerald, and I can never remember her last name. But blown away by this movie.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect movie, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really have any expectations going into this movie. I really didn't know what this movie was about.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about.
To be fair, like I've seen like scenes of like little conversations being had in the movie, but none of it spoiled the overall plot of this movie. I guess like a brief premise would be this nobody nerd starts his first year at Oxford and doesn't have very many friends, comes in wearing a drill mount frame in 2006 and like a polo and very socially awkward. And he kind of sees, he gets used to his classes at Oxford, but he kind of sees this really popular guy around school, tall, which is Jacob Elordi, the actor.
It's the guy from Euphoria.
Yeah, his name is Felix.
Yeah.
Dude's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And you just kind of see him like admiring him from afar. And one day, Felix, which is Jacob Elordi, the popular guy, he's like on the side of the road with his flat tire on his bike, and Oliver, which is the nerdy guy, he's like, oh man, you could just take my bike and I could probably fix this for you, or I'll take it back to the college. I don't have anywhere to be. You look like you have somewhere to be. And he's like, oh man, you're my savior. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Gives him kisses on the forehead, takes his bike, wheels away. And he's the nerd's like, oh my gosh, he like talked to me, And then I can't even prepare you for the things that happen after this. It is wild. And you read like online that this is a psychological thriller,
Okay.
but you really don't get that until like 2/3 of the movie is over.
Okay.
Okay. There are little things that happen throughout the movie that you're like, wait a second. How did this nerd all of a sudden become this guy? Because Jacob Elordi's character is wealthy. He basically lives in a castle called Saltburn with his wealthy family. And the nerdy guy doesn't really have anything, And he's like, spend the summer with me at Saltburn.
His parents also, what's the mom? Who was playing her?
I'll just pull up the actors.
They both the dad's Richard E. Grant, which he's great.
There's
the
a
mom
lot of great actors in this movie.
Shoot, what was the mom? I forget. I saw some of it when Claudia was watching it. I saw.
Okay, so Barry Keoghan is Oliver Quick. Jacob Elordi is Felix Caton. Rosamund Pike
Oh, that's the mom. Okay.
is Elsbeth. And then Carey Mulligan's in this also for like a brief moment.
Okay.
Ewan Mitchell is in it, who plays, is it Aragorn in...
That's Lord of the Rings.
Okay. No, not Aragorn. Aegon.
Yeah.
Aegon. I always
In
get
House
Aragorn
of the
and
Dragon.
Aegon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Aegon in House of the Dragon. Guy with the jaw and like this all the time.
Yeah, he looks like.
Yeah.
He's in this movie also. But it's so good. I can't even tell you anything else. Like, you just have to go see it. It's
Seems like one of those movies you should go into blind.
You should.
Yeah.
Don't look up anything about it. Just go and watch it. There's a lot of very uncomfortable scenes.
I saw
I
some
will
of those, yeah.
like tell everybody that's watching. You're gonna cringe a little bit watching some of these scenes for sure. And I don't know if it's because it's it has that indie feel.
It does, yeah.
But it's not technically, I don't think, an indie film. But I personally love indie films, that you just watch and you're like kind of left up to the interpretation. But
the only other
pleased with the ending all the way through. Like, very loved how it ended. It was insane. It was a roller coaster, and I was holding on tight, and I had a great time the whole time.
The other movie she did was Promising Young Woman, which I never watched. Have you heard of that one? Okay. Because I was looking up to see what else she did. So this is, I think, just her second movie. I don't think there was anything else she did, but yeah, it's getting a lot of
buzz.
Yeah, right now for sure.
It is mainly because every girl is in love with Jacob Elordi.
Yeah,
now.
He's like very high up as like newer movie star now. Like
yeah,
it's like him, and then the woman equivalent I would say is Sydney Sweeney, which is funny because they're both from Euphoria, but she's also like huge now. So yeah,
she's got that rom-com that came out that actually
is it good?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's gone. The only reason they were talking about it on a podcast I listened to about the box office, and it's gone up the 3 weekend. Like, it started out fine, like whatever, made like 10 million or whatever, opening weekend. But then like the next weekend it made like 12 million, and then the next weekend it made like 15 million.
Wow,
surprising for a rom-com.
So like, well, that almost never happens. Movies don't go in reverse like that.
Yeah,
they make the most normally an opening weekend, and then they go down.
But now it's getting more popular.
Yeah. So
interesting.
And it could just be because when it came out, there was a lot of other things to see, and then as it kind of, the other things are dropping off, and and then they're going to see that. I don't know, and the people that were talking about didn't know either. There's like it's unusual because it almost never happens. So but it must be decent enough that people.
Yeah, because what else is actually in theaters right now?
Not a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, go see Saltburn. Just watch it. You can hate it if you want to. You just need to at least see it once. I
like
say.
that it's in 2006.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, there is a little bit of some holes with the music that's plays.
Oh, really? Not 2006 music?
No.
I feel like there's some of the stuff was 2006 music,
Apple
though.
Bottom Jeans came out in 2008.
Uh-oh.
Apparently.
And they used that song.
And they used that song.
Yeah, what a hit.
As a like they were doing karaoke and this guy was singing it.
I was just talking about something like this with someone else. Oh, what was it? But like, it's like you gotta know. They gotta know that. Like,
Yeah, they have
like,
to.
No one doesn't just check that. So
No,
then, like, they knew it and decided to put it in there anyway.
Anyway.
It's a good 5-second Google search. You could do that real
I
quick.
know.
Like,
It's
So,
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like if I was a director,
yeah, no.
I would never be able to be like sleeping at night knowing I put a song is it in the time period of the movie that I'm making.
yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's like some of the continuity stuff and I don't know. There's just like things that people like go like slide and
Yeah.
Well, and the big difference is it's diegetic music because they're actually singing it in the movie. Like if they were just playing that song and it was just a song being played, right? That I feel like that would be okay. Even though you still should keep it around the time, but that would be more acceptable. But they're actually singing it in a scene, so like that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to watch it then. I guess.
Don't watch it with your kids.
I don't watch even movies I
Okay.
want to watch with
Yeah,
my kids. They don't
okay.
watch with
I don't
me.
think
All right.
Josh would be like, "Hey kids, gather around. Let's
Yeah.
watch
Let's
Saltburn."
watch Saltburn.
Gather
No, I
around
don't
the
think I
family
would.
couch and
Honestly, watch it by yourself. If I'm being,
yeah,
don't watch it with anybody.
Yeah, no, I figured I would.
Maybe your wife and husband. Maybe.
I would say I was on my laptop most of the time, so I was just seeing it like out of the corner of my eye. So I witnessed some of the scenes that you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's gotta be better. I didn't mention it, but I did watch Barbie over the weekend. And
Oh, you finally saw.
yeah, I finally watched
Okay.
Barbie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
No,
No.
it was all right.
Yeah.
I give it like a 6.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're like
Ryan
there's-
Gosling's great though.
Yeah, the performance, like Margot Robbie and
Yeah,
Ryan
oh, yeah.
Gosling,
Right.
both their performances are great.
Correct.
The art direction and the like set design, all that stuff is amazing.
Yes.
So there's
The
a lot of good.
dialogue.
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in there, but then there's also things that I didn't like and decisions they made that I
Yeah.
didn't like, and
Yeah.
so. But yeah, anyway, so it was okay.
Yeah.
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 I think it's overhyped for sure.
Oh, definitely overhyped.
Most certainly is it overhyped.
But on that note,
Yeah. There's some things I would say, but I'm going to get political and I shouldn't.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, there's
Yeah.
that stuff too.
There
But
is that,
but
yeah.
I'm talking about even outside of that
Besides
stuff.
Right.
stuff
Oh,
I
no.
don't
Yeah.
like
There's
it.
plenty of dumb stuff that has nothing to do with
Mhm.
that.
But yeah, so I think that's it for that. Let's get
Yeah.
into
Let's get into the show.
episode 9. Axis Mundi. I didn't look up how to say this.
Axis Mundi, I think.
Mundi?
Yeah.
Axis Mundi.
Let me give that a goog real
yeah,
quick.
Yeah, well, so this episode and next week's episode is directed by Andy Goddard, who did a bunch of Daredevil, a bunch of Punisher, and Downton Abbey, and a bunch of other good TV stuff. Like he's directed a bunch of stuff. So yeah,
So he's doing both.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I saw there was every episode written by Matt Shackman?
Yeah, well,
Because I saw this last
no,
two.
no,
It said
yeah, these last two is written by him. No, not
Okay.
all the episodes are written by him. The first two were.
the
and
first
la-
two were.
and
Yeah, I
last
remember
two.
that. Yeah, I was wondering if he did any of the in between ones.
No.
Okay.
Little synopsis. Shaw and May search for Kate and make a startling discovery, and Kentaro struggles with his loss.
This is an interesting title for it because this makes a lot of sense with the episode. So Axis Mundi is a Latin phrase meaning line or stem through the Earth's center, connecting its surface to the underworld and the heavens, and around which the universe revolves.
Wow.
That's a lot in two little words.
That is.
For sure.
It's a lot to unpack.
But you're right. It does fit perfectly with.
For sure.
But also kind of weird to throw in some Latin all of a sudden. Like when we had titles like "Will the real May please stand
up?
So like,
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
I wonder who's writing these titles. Maybe the writers write the titles, and then so you got Matt Shackman,
Mm-hmm.
back at the writing, and like actually gives a decent title versus whoever wrote some of those middle.
It is funny that makes sense. Well, I know we're about to talk about like the episode,
Yeah.
what we thought of it, but it is interesting. So he wrote the first two
Mm-hmm.
and the last two.
Mm-hmm.
maybe the strongest of the show.
So far, I would say
Yeah,
yes.
I would say so.
And I mean, it's also what's funny is we talked about this when we first started the show. He did a ton of It's Always Sunny, which is just funny that he went from that. Although WandaVision also, right?
Yes.
Was that the other big
Yes.
thing? Yeah, which was awesome.
Yep.
That's another. Speaking of Marvel, that was
good.
very good.
Yeah. So what did you? Well, I mean, you kind of said, but what do you think before we get into the specifics of the episode?
Strong. It's a strong episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I thought
It always
so.
just
It
feels
was good.
so short. Like
A lot of them are
watching
pretty
them,
short.
they
Yeah.
feel, and I feel that they're
Well,
short.
it's weird because like when you're right, I mean you're right because I think they're all about 40 to 45 minutes,
Yeah,
and so it's
if
like in
that.
between,
Yeah.
and like the ones that are kind of like where the middle, some of those middle episodes where there's not a lot going on. It's like
Feels
okay,
like it's forever.
yeah. And then but then the ones where there's good that have stuff happening, you're like, oh, that was short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I think the longest episode was like in the last couple episodes, and it was like the worst episode. And I believe it was like
Why would they do
55
that to
minutes or
us?
something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was, I think, like 42, just over 40. Yeah, this one was pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
like it was like 25 minutes.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get actually a full hour for the finale.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with both of you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Way stronger. And even the present day was better. Although it wasn't much present day. It was mostly
Well, I mean,
a lot of different.
It was present day, but like more in the other universe or whatever you call
Yes.
it than in the
The upside down.
yeah. I know. I was thinking that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It's
how did
I
they-
wrote it down. They call it the underspace.
underspace.
Yeah.
There you go.
Underspace.
I think that's what they called it. Something like that.
Yeah. So I figured we would go and talk through like going back at the 62 stuff, then the 82, and then the 2015.
Yeah.
So in the 1962 we have Shaw, volunteering to go on the Hourglass mission, Operation
Mhm.
Hourglass.
Yep.
To go down to the Hollow Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, Randa, arguing with him, and blah blah blah. So then we get that scene where it's like a little space capsule looking thing, and but instead of going up, they're going to go down, and they use the little calling device and to try to open up a portal.
Yeah, it was
And,
cool. They did that.
Yeah, and then it's crazy though because it was like the electromagnetic field or something was pulling everything in, and
Mhm.
and then they dropped them in, I guess at the right time, and then
Well, they said that, yeah, because that thing is supposed to attract one of them. So then they're basically riding like the coattails of this
yeah,
monster back down.
Right.
And that's what that device was supposed to
yeah,
do.
which is
apparently,
like which I think is
it's
probably
smart, but
also what
kinda
probably what it
scary.
did, because then you're like when it gets there, it's there with the monster, right?
Yeah.
So, which is basically so they works, they go, and then, but then as far as they're concerned, they think they're gone. So then they close funding because they think with the disaster of that mission, they Puckett's like, yeah, we're gonna lose all funding in Monarch. But then Shaw gets stranded with his team, but his team gets killed by some kind of monster dragon looking thing.
Mm.
And then he gets sucked back through a rift,
Mhm.
which is like wild and crazy. So what'd you think? All that stuff.
is this not till the end where we actually see what happened to him the first time down there.
I think that
Right.
montage, like when he's talking about that experience, was pretty cool.
Yeah, it
how
was.
it was like kind of like freeze frame 3D type thing,
Mhm.
and it was like going through the different.
That was at the end. Yeah,
scenes.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
And when he's talking about his time before he gets sucked back into the,
Right.
top side or whatever. But I thought it was weird that he's just in a ball and they're just dropping, like they're free falling. Like
What do they expect to happen?
what was like you have to
Yeah.
hit something. Like
Yeah.
there was no jet or anything. It could have just cushioned your landing or something. I don't know. It's just like boom. we'll just drop them in and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, somebody died.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just seemed a little dumb.
Yeah. 1960s. They just would do anything. Right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Also, never mind.
What?
There's a woman on the team. I just don't think that would have happened.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did mention this. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
That's
early
a-
'60s.
In that time.
Yeah.
That's fair.
They wouldn't have put a woman in something so like
Yeah.
Yeah.
risky,
Yeah.
you know, an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't have been in there.
Is definitely gave me some For All Mankind vibes.
Yeah.
Which that first season I guess was '60s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been. I think a little later though.
Later. Yeah. 'cause,
Yeah. It
well, I
wasn't
was about
early
to say,
'60s. Yeah.
like, if this was reality, like the moon was later because
Yeah.
69, right?
Which they were talking about that, which is cool.
Yeah.
They comparing it to space travel or to the moon
Yeah.
and to this underground
Under space.
under space.
Under space, not the upside down.
Not outer
No.
space. Under space.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's cool setup and cool scene and all that
Yeah.
stuff was,
Mhm.
and then like the under space, I mean, we see more of it later, but it's different enough and cool enough to.
I like the lighting and all the different colors they do with the lighting.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So then we jumped to 1982 when Shaw awakens in a Monarch medical facility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess we mentioned before that though. So you have context for it in '82 when he sees the kid, right? Because he gives him the knife.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
that was near the beginning too. Yeah, because he
That was before he gets into the
Yeah.
the pod.
he gives him the knife, and then when he wakes back up, that's how he
He shows him.
he
That's
gives
really
him the
him.
knife back. Yeah.
Proof that it's him.
Mm-hmm.
So he so he's freaking out. He wants to talk to Randa, and then they of course let him know that Randa's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, I thought that was good acting on his part. Him like yelling and going through the halls in
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
That was good. It wasn't overacting, but it was done. I thought he did a good
Oh,
job
yeah.
in that scene.
It was good.
Yeah.
I kind of liked how he was when he found out it was 1982. The shock when he like kind of fell to the
Yeah.
floor too. I think that was
Like-
done pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he was
Felt
like
realistic.
kind of almost like fainting, but
yeah,
not fainting.
but not really. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a good teacher though. I'm sure his father
It's
gave
in-
him a
it's in
few
his genes,
pointers.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah. So and then Hiroshi, right,
Mm-hmm.
is who's like an adult now, and
Yep.
is like, hey, yeah,
Yeah, and it's where he met Kentaro's mom because she was the nurse on the scene.
Yeah, you pointed that out.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like,
it
that
was
looks
her.
like Kentaro's mom. Yeah. Oh, for
Cool.
sure. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was where. Yes, that was where he met his second wife or second
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then we see that they're just well, first he informs when they're leaving the kind of leaving him alone and just letting the Titans like he's like, yeah, we closed up, Monarch's not doing that stuff anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
and then they put him in the retirement facility and we see like the passage
he
of time.
rots there.
Yeah. Basically gets him to
Genuinely.
almost to where we are, like to the 2015.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. It was a cool shot the way they did it. Him
Mhm.
sitting there, and then it just
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, how many years of him just doing the same thing every day? Like, that's insane.
mm-hmm.
I feel like he would have at least tried to leave. Him?
especially which is like especially the reality that he knew
Absolutely.
that he saw, which is I guess why I don't know, or maybe he was just in so much shock and
Or the pills that they're giving him maybe
yeah,
sedate him, put him
Yeah.
in a weird cloud. I don't know.
but right because but now you see why. Now all his motivation as soon as they find him
Mhm.
and get him out,
Yeah.
like why he's just like, we gotta figure this because they haven't done anything with this in so long, and
yeah.
there's stuff down there.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is where we see the TV footage of what
Ooh.
looks like Godzilla and Mothra.
This was awesome.
I was
finally
like,
seeing
yeah,
them too. Yeah. Although it was just TV footage, I would like to see more of that, but it was still
man.
great to
Bring in Mothra.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we were in 2015, and Monarch extracts Kentaro and Tim from Kazakhstan power plant. So I guess he got out of there before the explosion. Like we talked about,
he was so close.
I know we were talking about that last week. I was like thinking he had to jumped in to survive.
He was way too close to the countdown for him to possibly survive that blast.
Yeah, seemed like it.
It seemed like.
But I mean,
I don't know.
But we know Tim's got superpowers, so.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, so and then Verdugo informs of Kate, May, and Shaw's as a loss. They basically say, "Oh yeah, they're gone," which is still silly. Like, do you think they would know? Like, there's more. Like, she should have. Oh, you would think she'd have the clearance to know what happened to Shaw.
Oh yeah.
So then why would they just assume that they're dead, right?
Yeah.
And be like, well, there's a chance. We don't know. Yeah.
Let's talk about the doctor that's got the headphones on and Nicki Minaj is blasting while she's watching.
That was a good needle drop in the episode.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was also it was also interesting because it was like, I remember, I think he's even saying out loud, I was like, this song feels off to the, because they're just playing it first, like, and you're
and
like,
it's right when the scene cuts too, and it goes right. Yeah.
Oh man.
And then it's like, and they're like, oh, it's what she's listening to,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
Man, I was on the couch busting it down
Yeah, you
when
were.
that scene came on. I was immediately into it.
Another hit.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for that again.
Yeah. What did she was pointing something out on the screen. What did she put?
Seemed like signals.
Oh,
were coming through.
I have a note about this. I think she points out the signals, and they're wondering who is.
They're like spikes.
Yeah, who is creating these signals?
She cleans up the waveform, and there's like a consistent signal.
And I think it's
spoilers, but we're at the end.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be her doing that. Yeah, at the end. Yeah, I didn't want to say but.
Yeah. So then Kentaro goes back to his mom, and she kind of inspires him not to give up. He seems like really depressed, and she's kind of like, well, what more can we do? And then she kind of nudges him. She's like, come on, but you're more than this. Like, don't give up. Still think that actor, he's struggling.
Yeah. He is.
So then he goes to his dad's office to try to see if he can find some other stuff, and then Hiroshi shows up, and
kind of weird he just randomly showed up at that point though. Like, he said something like, oh, I was on my way back from, but it was a little too convenient.
Yeah.
Of timing wise.
Then they're in that conversation. I still feel like it's like, how did he know it was them there in the desert? It was so far away.
It was.
Like, I see where they would know because they're like been looking for him, but like he would be like, had no clue that they're like out and about and looking.
Right.
Because we thought in that episode, he was just like, just anyone. He's just like, hey, get away.
And maybe he would recognize Shaw because like Shaw is somebody he knows, but I don't know. That was just, so then in this they have that conversation like, oh well, what were you doing there? Like he knew that he was there, and I was like, I still don't know if that was that. If you would have, but anyway, there's the kind of things that like on a well written show, like something you're just like everything it does, those little plot holes don't matter. But then if it's like something that's kind of slow and like just like not really quite, then you like those things start pointing out, and
those are things that are holding it back from being
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's still some points in this show that are very high.
Yeah.
That are like
when he sees Kentaro and Kentaro starts going off on him about everything. When he goes. We confront him about having a second family. You weren't meant to know about that part of my life.
Like, what kind of response is that?
Okay. Oh, okay. So I wasn't supposed to know. Cool. Then it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
That was
Such
a
a
weird. That
dumb
was a
thing to
weird
say.
response.
Such a dumb thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's, I mean, yeah, yes, but it's also like part of that's like, it's a bad writing, right? Like,
Yes, it is.
like,
100%.
like they could have come up with something better than that, I think. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's kind of all we get with them, right? And so then let's talk about the underspace. So we get, so we first see May and Shaw, where they landed kind of next to each other, and they're like dodging these like little energy things.
Yep.
Pockets of light,
pockets
like
of,
lightning, electricity.
Yeah.
When the portal gets opened up, apparently it happens.
I like when she says, "Hey, don't let this, give you a big head, but you look good for your age." And his response is, he's like, "Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me." Like at this point, he's just like, "Yeah," like because so many people have told him
Yeah.
that he's just like, "Yeah, that's what the people tell me."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, they just say 90s.
I feel like that's like what I have to say all the time. People always say comment on like, and I'm like, thanks. Yes, I know at this point. Like, it's like, because other people are like, what? You're 45? You look like I thought you were my age.
Lucas said I look 20 today.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, really? Not that I'm much older
I said,
than 20.
do you want to look 20?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to. I'm better than the alternative, I guess I should
No,
say.
no.
Yeah.
I that's what I always say. Like, I'm thankful now. But
Yes.
it was always a pain when.
I hated it when I was young.
I was
I
21,
thought-
everybody was carding me. They're like, "You're 16. There's no way you're 21."
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the thing. Now we're gonna side tangent.
I know.
when Luke was born, I was 25, and Aaron was 22, and people would like make comments about us in the mall. Like, look at this, like
teen pregnancies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're pushing a stroller around with a baby, and I'm like,
Yep.
Yeah.
and so then it was annoying, but then by the time I was like late 20s
you
or
appreciate
late
it.
30s, you're like
Yeah.
start to appreciate it. You're like, okay, it's nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so what did they? I feel like
In the underspace, they were
doing, but they did something else after that. That's what I was trying to.
I mean, they're just trying to find Kate, but I don't know.
Yeah, just keep yelling, Kate.
Yeah.
Kate.
Yeah.
And then finally we see Kate where she fell. And then she had
Like perfect makeup and eyelashes, not a scratch on her or dirt on her body, sucked through a vortex. Anyway, go ahead.
Have you been through a vortex? You don't know.
I know. Maybe I will like.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't
my
do anything
face
to you.
beat, to perfection, waking up in another world. Hopefully.
But then that boar looking thing was so cool.
horns.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
cool.
It was like, that was a cool, but it was also like weird that it kind of like circled around her.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? And then it came back, and I mean, obviously it creates more suspense and tension.
Yeah, but it was weird at first. He like couldn't be bothered with her. He's just like, oh, whatever. And then he's like, well, actually,
Yeah.
But then she gets saved at the last minute by none other than
Kiko.
Yeah.
Kiko's alive, as we knew.
as we've been saying.
As we've
since
been
the beginning.
saying. Yes. Looking
Also-
perfect.
also like even the beginning of that scene when she's like, Claudia and both were like, yeah, like obviously she's gonna save her. Like
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
else is?
I mean,
gonna
I was
be?
just waiting for
100%.
something to fly and
100%.
hit this boar and it be from Kiko. Yeah. Crazy.
Still was awesome though. She looked awesome with the bow.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
didn't age at all.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, because I guess time is different
It's
there.
definitely, and
Yeah, we don't
but
know
I didn't
exactly
realize
the-
how severely time was different there because I thought maybe she'd be still looking like she's in her 40s, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, she looks exactly the same.
Which basically also then, I mean, because Shaw, he basically just 20 years that
Yeah,
from
true.
62 to 82,
True.
he
the
was
same.
down there. And so then that's why he didn't, he looked the same when he came up.
Yeah.
And then he aged from there. So
I wonder how long time will pass, like them being down there. How, like, I just want to know literally what is the amount, like how long is a minute versus.
right. Well, and I mean, because that's basically the episode. So speculation. Because where are they gonna because obviously they're gonna get out, I
Yeah.
guess, for the end of season. Because I mean, as far as I know, like there's nothing about season 2 still.
Nope. Still
Yeah.
haven't seen anything.
So they're gonna want to wrap it up
Right.
reasonable.
Right.
I mean, with still some things to leave some things open. So yeah, are they gonna come back out of there? Kate, May, Shaw, and Kiko?
Kiko.
Yeah, Kiko. I didn't say Kiko, and then I was like, is that right? They'll get out of there eventually, but is it going to be, a couple of years? Is it going to be, and then is it, I guess, I mean, so it's 2015. I mean, I guess it could be 2023 and be like, oh, now it's present day.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
That'd be 7 years, 8 years.
I have a question
2024,
about.
actually. No, it's
Yeah.
right. It's 2024 now.
Yeah.
I have a question about. Always forget his name. Is it Bill Randa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill,
There we go. I got it
yeah.
now. I couldn't ever remember his first name. So obviously we see him at the beginning in 62. What was the year in the very beginning of the show with John Goodman?
Oh.
Because I'm like, he starts to look like John Goodman in like 10 years, like I don't think it
Yeah.
was that far into the 70s, and they didn't try to make him look that different,
I'll tell you, was that episode 1?
Yeah. The very beginning.
Yeah,
of
it was the
episode
very
one.
beginning of the show. It starts with him, I
Yeah,
believe.
it does. That's how the show starts as a
Yeah.
whole.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should have it in my notes then. I'm looking.
But even if it was like late 70s,
It was
it's definitely
73.
Okay, right. So 11 years. He
Yeesh.
looks like John Goodman.
Man, that guy aged like a pumpkin.
Yeah, he definitely was not down in the
My goodness.
underworld.
No, he didn't,
under
he didn't see
whatever.
the underdog,
No,
whatever it is.
not at
Not
all.
even for a minute. My goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, 11 years.
yeah.
Oh boy.
And I know because they kind of made him look younger, John Goodman. I remember in that scene,
Yeah.
but still,
Even
still
so.
pretty big
Well,
difference.
he lost his friends. He just let himself go.
There you go, yeah.
Gained some weight.
Yeah. Stop caring.
Didn't care anymore. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
Rock bottom.
yeah.
Came in alcoholic. You know.
Oh man.
By the way, that'd be cool to get another scene with him, John Goodman.
Yeah. That would be nice.
But yeah, I don't know how they.
Yeah. So what do we?
It's a
so,
lot
There's
that they
so
got to
much
wrap
that
up.
has
Yeah,
to happen
I know. It's got to be a long
still.
episode.
Yeah. So what else do we think? So we think they'll get out of the underspace, right?
Yeah. Shaw will be reunited with Kiko, and they'll probably have weird, old and young.
Sexual tension.
Yeah. 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 It will be.
That would
You're
be
like,
funny.
wait a
Yeah.
minute, I'm old enough to be your grandfather
I
now.
know. Yeah.
But we
I mean,
have-
something has to happen with a Titan's got to follow them or something, because it's not. There can't just be no Titans,
Yeah.
in the
Right.
finale.
yeah,
so
right. So
they're gonna have to follow them out, or maybe like a lot of them will.
yeah,
come, like, yeah.
release some.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, do you think we're gonna see a Titan versus Titan?
I would
That's
absolutely
what we've
love
been waiting for.
a Titan versus Titan.
We got a tease on the TV screen.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be
Which
sick.
Titan though? Do you think it'll be Titans the two? You think it'll be like a no name with
What was the-
Godzilla?
I feel like Godzilla's got to come back.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
They'll finish with Godzilla.
Well,
What was
technically,
the
I guess
city,
Godzilla's still on the Earth. Like at least like last we saw, he
Yeah.
was
Oh,
moving
yeah.
around and
Yeah.
not under.
What was the city that Godzilla and Mothra were actually fighting in? They said it in the news thing. I can't remember.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to play it in my head and I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So I don't think it's going to be that, but
No,
that'd be sick. But yeah, I don't know
That'd
who would be.
awesome though.
or well, I mean, so I mean, depending how far along they go, it could just be they come back and it's like a desolate
I was gonna say.
post-apocalyptic, like covered with Titans and
That'd be
running
crazy.
rampant.
yeah, and like they're just like, oh my gosh, what happened?
That'd be crazy.
that would be insane.
And like Kentaro is like an old man.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh man, so it's a different actor, so he's better.
I know, right? Yeah.
No, he has gotten better through this season.
Yeah.
I do want to say, but you're right. He's still sometimes.
And not that, I mean, May I don't think is still not
No.
good either, but
Nah.
that actress, but
I wish Kentaro would have fallen in and not May,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but
that would have been
whatever.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely. Again, it's been fun. Just
Yeah.
it's not a top 10, top tier.
It's like
Yeah.
a lot of the middle you could have cut out.
Yes.
Oh my
trim,
goodness,
trim
so
it down.
much.
Trim it
Trim
down.
it down.
Yeah.
And I think could be a tight episode.
6 probably, not even 8 episodes. Probably good to get it down to 6, honestly.
Especially if you made them a little longer. And then, yeah.
I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
yeah, I'm sure they have their reasons. Whatever those are.
Technically, it's coming out
We all
tonight,
have our
so we can
stories.
watch it whenever.
We all have stories.
Yeah.
We do all have stories.
Cool. Well, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Well, we'll thank you guys for watching and listening. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe on YouTube or follow us or subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you have any thoughts about this episode or any previous episodes, Monarch Show, please email us at feedback@screentimepod.com or leave a comment in the YouTube videos. What we did not talk about is what next week, besides the finale, starting next week, we're going to start covering a different show.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this.
We were just talking about before you got here.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Well, I'm drawing a blank of the name of the
True Detective.
True Detective season 4.
Oh.
True Detective season 4.
So you
Yeah.
have to decide
Cool.
if you want to be on it or not.
Okay.
But yeah, because that starts this Sunday, so
Yeah.
so we'll have to cover that
Very
as
cool.
well next
Very
week. So
Also, sorry, side note, you were just talking about it's already been rated very well.
yes,
So that means maybe second best season from the first season, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Well.
season 2 and 3 were not that great.
Yeah.
yeah, I would, yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be that case.
It's
It's
awesome.
gonna be the
Yeah.
best one
Awesome.
since the season for first season. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be start covering next week, and yeah, so if you want to join along, watch that, and if you want to follow any of us on Instagram, I'm at J Youngbar.
I'm at Claudia Youngbar.
I'm at Jered Youngbar.
Okay, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.